Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy AJ Trip, and welcome to That to Shoot. This is where I would normally talk about just everything that's going on in the world of professional wrestling, but actually, it's not like that anymore. This is about what's going on in the world and how it's affecting professional wrestling. That's what these things are going to be about probably the next couple of weeks. I think I will be doing a predictions video for WrestleMania 36. Um, I don't know how to. I think I do know. I think I'll probably just do it as like a regular predictions video. Even though WrestleMania is gonna be over 2 days, and that's what we're gonna mainly talk about in this video. But yeah, I think I will do that. As for how it's been like in the past and the future, I actually don't know. I actually think that probably maybe after WrestleMania, depending on what happens, I think I probably will maybe suspend That's a Shoot, um, because I personally don't feel right um, praising and also critiquing the things that WWE and AEW are doing on their shows when this is a crazy time, right? Now, yeah, we know we hear stuff that you like, the stuff that I didn't like from all the shows that I've watched, right? But I don't know if I want to quote unquote bury, um, for instance, I don't know if I want to quote unquote bury um a 4 minute match between you know Baron Corbin and Jeff Hardy like from last week. I don't know if I want to bury that, or anything on, or I don't want to, do this other things, right? So I just feel bad about it. So that's not something that excuse me, I don't know if that's something that I want to do at this point in time because we're living in a crazy world, and these people are doing empty shows. I read this morning that Tony Khan has canceled the Blood and Guts show that they were going to do um, Wednesday. So I don't even know if they're going to put on a show or not. The WWE has not canceled anything. In fact, what's allegedly happening is that the WWE are recording shows. They're recording um, Raw and SmackDown and maybe even NXT. They are recording these shows, right? So that um, so that if something happens to where they do a shelter in place for the entire United States, right? Um, that they can still put on these shows and even still put on WrestleMania. Let's even talk about that today. That's what they're going to do. They're going to record WrestleMania, and they're going to because WrestleMania is not going to be over 2 days, um, both Saturday and both Sunday. And I think that they're going to do that because there are no fans. They're going to do it without no fans, and so they probably feel it's better to probably try to put on two shows without fans, especially with the stories that these guys have to tell, right? All of these shows, all of these stories that all of these matches, a lot of them have the story behind them. Especially like the Randy Orton Edge match is so personal. It's such a good story that that's something that you want to see, and that's something like John Cena and what's his name, Bray Wyatt match. That's a good story. They put on a hell of a promo last week. There was a good promo this week from Reigns and Goldberg. So there's a lot of things that are going on in this thing that they need to do. So I don't know. Some people are like, but why not just postpone WrestleMania? performance, but that's not then because they didn't. They would have to they would either have to one artificially keep these storylines going until they come back, and who knows when they would actually be able to come back. Now, at some point, yes, at some point they may be able to. They might be able to come back and put on a show. They might be able to go back and do a show like the from the Allstate Arena in Chicago. They might be able to put on a show there, but it would be with no fans, right? Um, or something like, or I guess they wouldn't do it. I guess what they would do is if they would maybe put on the show from like a smaller arena, And actually, I actually think that that's probably what's going to happen, right? Because I think as we continue on with this and things happen, I would expect that WWE would probably continue to put on shows from the Performance Center. And what they would hope is at some point we'll get to the point to where it says, okay, um, you can't have more than 1,000 people. Now the Performance Center is not going to hold 1,000 people. I think the Performance Center is going to hold maybe 100, maybe at the most, right? So then they could, maybe a couple hundred. So then fine, they can put on shows from the Performance Center and have the fans, do like, and they can do like that. They mostly like old school when they did it from the Manhattan Center, right? And they did it from the Manhattan Center. And then as we keep going up and as we keep going up, as we keep going out, and maybe things changes, and then they start to say that um, and as things keep changing, and they start to tell us that, you know, now we can go from 1,000 to 2,000 to 5,000, and then they say, okay, we can now do rally, we can now have mass gatherings again, and that's when everybody, the NHL and the NBA and all of those things maybe come back. But they may have already come back, but they just may be doing it in front of an empty stadium, right? And I think maybe that's what maybe they might do. Yeah, I guess I would say this. I would say that the WWE should continue to keep doing their stuff no matter what from the Performance Center. So even if in a month, if April 21st, right, things have gotten extremely better. Um, and the president, the CDC says we can now we have flattened the curve. We seem to be in a better place. I would still say you guys should be careful. Um, continue to wash your hands, keep doing to do all of this stuff. But as for mass gatherings, we say go ahead and continue and go back and start doing mass gatherings again. I would still say that WWE should still do shows from the Performance Center, you know, until until there is a just for Raw and SmackDown, and then and then go ahead and do an NXT even. If maybe they could do Full Sail, might be even, but maybe they don't even do it from Full Sail. Who knows? But wherever they do it from, they should just do it from down there, and then do like their other big shows, from the big things, from like um from like big arenas again. So it's gonna be wild, man. This is gonna be wild. But like for me, like I just I've not felt right um critiquing, or in particular mainly critiquing, because they're trying their best. Both these things are trying their best, and the WWE they've taken on one way of doing it. AEW looks like when they did their thing, they did another way, and neither one is right. No matter what nobody wants to tell you, neither way is wrong. Neither way is wrong. They just have two different ways of doing it, and neither way is wrong, despite what people want to tell you. Um, so we can do things like, where AEW just decided to go out and just decided to have matches, and not do a lot of other stuff, not do a lot of other, they went out and they did a show as if it was just you know, as if it was just what it was. Excuse me. As if there was a crowd there. You know, and then we saw Brody Lee be the exalted one. Brody Lee's Luke Harper. And we saw at the end of the show Matt Hardy. Okay, that's totally fine, right? So and then, but WWE has decided. Apparently, Vince wasn't isn't a big fan of the wrestling with, um, wrestling with no fans. Um, So what they decided to do is they decided to like replay things. A couple of weeks ago on SmackDown they replayed the Elimination Chamber. They played Monday Night Raw. They played the Royal Rumble with Drew McIntyre. Last night they played the John Cena Bray Wyatt match from WrestleMania 30. So they decided to take up some time by replaying other in the NXT show. There was no wrestling on that period. They just decided just to do recaps of some of the big. They recapped the Finn Balor's career throughout NXT into the main roster. Now back to NXT. They recapped the Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair stuff, and they went deep into detail with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. So we'll have to see what they're gonna do. NXT Takeover has been totally been taken right off the table, right? Um, because it's now since with uh, WrestleMania being 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, they've just decided just to put NXT Takeover on hold. So who knows when NXT Takeover is gonna do anything? When they're gonna get back into doing anything that excuse me. I apologize for yawning, y'all. It's you know trying to get sleep. Just woke up this morning with, you know, I woke up this morning with from a guy over at the other end doing with lawnmower or leaf blower or whatever. So, but um, but yeah, it's really a main fascinating turn of what is going to happen over the next couple of weeks. And again, I have had no qualms about them going into WrestleMania and not postponing it. Now there are rumors that there are people out there in the company, the wrestlers. They are actually hoping that it gets postponed or even canceled. They are hoping that because they are not big fans of being left in the lurch or whatever that seems to be. So my hope is that that's what they are doing. I'm hoping that they are right now. Hoping that at this point, maybe even as we speak, right, they are taping. They are taping Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw that's going to air on Monday. And then maybe later on tonight they'll tape NXT or they'll tape SmackDown later on tonight. That's going to air next week. And then and then would that be yeah? And then maybe take off Sunday. Then maybe Monday they'll tape the Raw for the next Monday. They go home Monday Night Raw, and then maybe they'll tape the go home SmackDown, and then that week they'll tape WrestleMania. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that because yes, because again I do think WrestleMania should go on because of the stories that they tell, and they need to end these stories. So I would personally hope that yes, over the next 4 or 5 days they tape the two SmackDowns they need, they take the two Raws that they need, and they tape the WrestleMania matches and everything like that. I do hope like that because guess what? We're not going if we do find out that they've taped stuff and it leaks out, then that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate because at this point, it shouldn't be about leaking something to the press or whatever it is. You unsatisfied with your push, or you start leaking stuff out, or you unsatisfied with the fact that you have to, you have to, do WrestleMania from a performance center instead of a big, big thing. This isn't about you. Grow the fuck up. You know, you are one of the main, cause of entertainment right now. You're helping everybody out there who are self quarantined, who are social distancing, who are who work from home, who are right. They're in the maze. They don't know when their next check is going to come. They don't know when, they don't know when they'll get back to work. They don't know nothing. They may have lost. They may have actually not. They may have been laid off or actually been fired. They may have whatever. They might be closing down their small business. You know, because of this stuff, and you give them entertainment. And I know that you are, you may have some reservations yourself. You may feel like, well, this is, this is, you know, this could be affecting me. This could be, I can still catch it. Why am I out here doing this? Why am I going to be in, doing here? And that's fine as well. But and I'm not saying that you're not wrong for feeling that way, but uh, I would almost think that in this type of situation, maybe this isn't about you. And even though your feelings are warranted, and I think that the media has said themselves that if you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to do anything as well. They're not forcing you to do anything that you don't want to do. You know, but you are just doing, but so I do think that, but it's just is what it is, and I think so you can go ahead and just continue this on, and like I said, what they may do is they may just try to get to WrestleMania, try to get WrestleMania done, and then they'll say, you know what, we'll do other things now, we'll put on reruns, we'll do other things, during our time slots, but as for live wrestling or anything like that, we're not going to do that anymore. We got your WrestleMania, we got it done. We're not going to do that until we can actually wrestle in front of a crowd, and that's fine and dandy. But and I would agree with that. But we got to get to WrestleMania. We got to get to WrestleMania, and that is the main topic here. We got I've done a lot of talking and free balling, spitballing here, but the big deal here is that WrestleMania they've announced that it's going to be over 2 days, not just one. And and I think a lot of people, a lot of people have wanted this in the past. They wanted to have WrestleMania be 2 days because over the past several years, WrestleMania has become such a spectacle that, and here's a critique, and this is just a critique in general. This isn't about anything recent or anything like that, but they decided that WrestleMania is such a big show that it needs like 1,300 matches, and it really it doesn't. It doesn't, and I wish they would change that. But they're not going to do that, and I think a lot of people know that they're not going to do that now. But one of the things that people have wanted them to do is maybe do like a 2 day thing where it would be WrestleMania would be over 2 days. It would be a 2 day spectacle, so that you don't have um, crowds zonking out over staying there for 8 9 hours. Especially what happened last year in New York, where they had just such a long thing, then they had the thing with the lights and everything. So after all of this, then it was such a shit show trying to get from the stadium, MetLife Stadium, back to the people's hotel rooms and Airbnbs and everything like that. So because it was so late, it was 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock Eastern time, maybe past 1 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock. And it was such, everything like this. So let's just do it over 2 days. Now, I have been against that. I don't think that WrestleMania should be over 2 days. I don't think that's what it should be. I think WrestleMania should be on one day. But what I do think is that they should just really, you know, they shouldn't try to, you know, overload the card. I don't think that's what you need to do. I mean, you can do a you can do an 4 hour show. Let's just say from 6 to 10, right? From 6 to 10. That's Central Time. Even though I am now in Charlotte on the East Coast, Eastern Time, I'm still gonna speak in Central Time because that's just me. That's just how I am. That's how I grew up, and that's how I want to be. So it's like if you go from 6 to 10 Central Time, right? And then you have a 4 o'clock pre-show, right? From that 6 to 10, you can have 8 matches. You can have 8 matches on the card from that 6 to 10. And then you can still do your pre-show matches. You can do your 2 battle royals, and you can do another match. So that's 11 matches, right? That's 11 matches. Um, and that's perfectly fine. That's good enough. I think that's good enough. You know, and I would even say what you want if you just want to do the 2 battle royals and make it 10. And that's okay. I can do that. We can just take that off, make it an even 10. 10 matches. The 2 battle royals are on the pre-show, and then you have the 8 matches on the main card. And I think that's what you do. You know, to try to get. I don't know what I don't know if they try if they do this because they think having more matches means it's a more epic event, or if they are thinking that doing more matches will give try to get everybody on the card. I think trying to or trying to get something, trying to get everybody something to do for WrestleMania. I, it's, I think that's how that needs to stop. Because I think you gotta realize that not everybody can be on the card. And besides, what you get these battle royals, so that's how everybody gets a WrestleMania payday to be in the battle royal, the women's and men's battle royal. So why are you trying to take that away? I don't get that. So, but anyway, because they do these now, 13, 14, 15 match cards, um, people are talking about let's do it over 2 days. Now I've been against that. Now this is already a totally different situation, and so this is necessitated a 2 day card. But I don't want to see this for WrestleMania 37 next year when they're in Los Angeles at the thing, and let's really hope that this does not go that far away where they would have to, there would be restrictions for next year, WrestleMania, because there's even been like even a thought that where where like once this does go down, once the curve does flatten and everything gets back to normal, I use this in my podcast where people are talking about this being the new normal. I don't like that. I think this is the new reality. This is a new reality that we are in. We can't say that this is normal. We should not normalize this. This is a new reality that we live in, and I think that once we get to the point to where we are at that point where things have gone down and things and it's kind of, and I'm not gonna say go away because I don't think it's never going to go away. I think it's talking about where to a fact where it could even possibly come back. Once again, like it started in China back in December. It could happen again like that, where it could come back in December, and then, and then once again. But I think if you would get to that, everybody, everything, all of us, the entire country, the entire world, the Earth, all the countries on Earth, we would be much better equipped to deal with it if it did come back. And then I don't think we would have to self distance and everything like that and shelter in place if it were to come back. We would have vaccines. Vaccines. We would have vaccines. We would have vaccines um, to for this virus. Hopefully by at that point. And we would also obviously have more testing, and we would have more ways, and we've gone through this, so we would know what to do. But hopefully, it wouldn't get to that point to where it would come back like it has in the next year, and then WrestleMania 37 once again, the sports will be canceled again, and wrestling and yada yada yada. But anyway, I don't think WrestleMania 37 should be 2 nights. I don't think it should be. I think it should be one night. But let's just do what I just said, right? 8 matches on the main card, 6 to 10, and then let's have some main events on, it's a main event, but the battle royals on the pre-show, beforehand. So basically 10 matches all together, and so this is hope for the best. So yeah, and that's what I hope can happen next year. But I totally understand why they're doing it this year. I actually think it is a good idea. Um, because I do think as someone who would sit at home to watch 16 however matches they're gonna try to put on, to watch all of those matches and with no crowd, back to back to back, could get kind of crazy, right? And you can't be, and this is going to be a pay per view type show. This is WrestleMania. You're not going to be able to you're not going to replay, something from another pay per view on your pay per view. You're not going to do that. You know, you can't do that. Yeah, there are no commercial breaks, anything like that. So you are going to have to um, put on your best front. So I think I totally understand that. I think I really do why it's 2 days, and I'm okay with it. Um, I can't wait to see what they do. I can't wait to see what it happens. And like I said earlier, I kind of do hope that they do record, and they do tape WrestleMania, so that if something does happen, because it seems like every day something else happens, something new happens, and a new state says they're going to shelter in place, and a new city says they're going to shelter in place. So if, and they're going to say, no gatherings, and no, essential personnel only, and it could be a time where the governor of Florida or the mayor of Orlando says exactly that. It says we have to um, we have to shelter in place, and do anything like that, and then we could not have a WrestleMania, you know. And then I think the question is, do you postpone it or do you cancel it? If that does happen, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to say cancel it. I don't want to WrestleMania. I don't want to postpone WrestleMania. I don't want to postpone WrestleMania. I don't want WrestleMania in June. Now, I was thinking about this, right? One of the things that the NBA is going through right now is, about them and all sports in general, that they have suspended their season. In particular, probably um, the NBA and the NHL. They suspended their season. Should they do what the NCAA did? NCAA just canceled the tournament altogether. No tournament. They've canceled all of the spring sports and spring tournaments and things like that. So there's been some thought about, is that what WWE should do? Should WWE just cancel, should just cancel WrestleMania, postpone it, whatever, and then and then bring it back later. And then there was a part of me that was thinking, I have to admit, I did think, if they had to cancel WrestleMania, you know, and then move it back, could that like reset their calendar, right? Because that's something that the NBA is thinking. The NBA is thinking that if they come back, you know, and they reset their calendar to where now the NBA season would start in December on Christmas, uh, and then then it would be pushed back, and then that's the way it would start now because of this. Because there's been some talk anyway about pushing back the NBA calendar, and having so that they don't interfere, they don't get lost, get caught up in the stereo, the juggernaut that is the National Football League in the fall. So, and maybe there is some talk about. So do you do that as the as WrestleMania WWE, right? Do you get you know do you push that back maybe to June, something like that, right? Because, and not saying the WrestleMania get lost, gets caught up in anything. It doesn't. It doesn't. However, there are seemingly only certain places that they can do WrestleMania from because of the time that they do it. They do it in the last Sunday in March, the first Sunday in April, and so and even though they did it in New York, you wouldn't be able to do it in Chicago from a Soldier Field or even a Wrigley Field if you wanted to, right? You couldn't do that. You couldn't do it from um, you couldn't do it from um, well, I guess Chicago's really the only one because they did it from New York, and that's another. But maybe you couldn't do it from Boston. You couldn't do it from the Gillette Stadium, or you couldn't do it from Fenway Park. You couldn't do it from these kind of colder weather cities. You know, you couldn't do it from like the Big House, or you couldn't do it from Buckeye Stadium, then to the college football stadiums because of you know how cold it would get. Or even maybe like Toronto or something like that. I don't know. But so you couldn't do it like that. And then, but if you did it in June, right? If you pushed it back to June, then you could do those things. You could do it from those cities because it would be a lot warmer, obviously. Um, but I thought about that, and the NBA is totally different. I think, like I said earlier, the NBA is trying to kind of get away from the NFL, trying not to compete with the NFL so they can it would make sense for them maybe to kind of start on Christmas and then go and then have the new season that way. It would make sense from that sort of fashion. What wouldn't make sense, I think, for WWE is to do that because you already got SummerSlam. SummerSlam is the biggest party of the summer. SummerSlam has become really WrestleMania light. It really has. So there's actually kind of no reason for you to put WrestleMania and SummerSlam so close together the way it is. So I do think that keeping WrestleMania where it's at is the right thing to do. Keep it in that late March, early April type of deal. Um, so I think that's something to be excited for. Having this 2 night event. So it's going to be a great time, I think. And again, I hope that it can happen. I hope that it can happen. I hope that we don't get to the point to where it gets canceled because of the shelter in place stuff or the lockdowns or whatever you call it. That could possibly be happening. So I think for me, and this is just my opinion. I think we'll end it off right here. Um, I want this to go on. I want this to happen. I want this to be part of our new reality, and that's still maintaining some of our normalcy in watching wrestling. I want that to be a part of it. If it can't, I think that's sad, but I totally understand. I totally understand because we're dealing with something that I don't think none of us could have ever saw coming. We never thought that we would be in this situation that we're in right now. So And with that being said, I do want to wish everybody out there, everybody watching this, I want to wish everybody out there safety and good health, and do the things that you need to do. Be a good neighbor um, to everybody. Don't hoard all the toilet paper. Don't hoard other things. I went to the store the other day. I got yesterday actually. I got like 2 sausage things. They said no, you can't get 2 sausage things. Um, because they don't want to do this. Oh, okay, that's perfectly fine. I totally understand. They didn't get 2 sausage things. Um, so yeah, just be a good neighbor and take care of yourself, take care of others, take care of your family, and yeah, I think that's what I'll leave it from there. Post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you guys think about WrestleMania. Being over 2 days. Tell me what you think about this entire thing that is going on here, and tell me what you guys think about some wrestlers not wanting to maybe do WrestleMania, hoping it gets postponed. How do you feel about the empty arena matches? How do you feel about you know anything having to do with this? And would you want WrestleMania to be postponed to later? Would you want it to be canceled? Like I said, I actually think I would rather it be canceled than be postponed. That would just be me. But so yeah, give me all your thoughts. Um, thank you guys so much for watching. Uh, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and go to patreon.com/AJTrip to become a patron. Go to Patreon. Once I hit a certain level, my Patreons will be able to determine what goes down on this channel, what goes down on my podcast, and what games I play on Twitch. So yeah, that's when I hit a certain level. So make sure you go to patreon.com/AJTrip and become a patron. All right, y'all. This means more now than it ever has. Be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.